Hey, this is Daryl from the Jackson fishing team, and we're going to tie up our last two flies for the sunfish challenge. I'm going to relate them to maybe, well, this one here will definitely be for crappie. Now, one of the two species out of the 10 that they have on there that they're calling a sunfish. But anyway, that's what we have to fish for. And we're going to tie this crappie. It's called the Crappie Coyote. And in fly fishing, coyotes are flies with spinner blades on them, and which means they are very similar to, if you're familiar with recreate or conventional fishing, called Roadrunners, or maybe beetle spins, however you want to look at it. But the Roadrunner primarily. So let's take a look at this fly, and we'll show you how we can create a fly.
Hey there, we're bending hooks for a spinner fly that we're going to tie up for crappie. And I just put it in, have a mark on where, I don't know if you can see that, but where that little oval is. I'm not making the eye go past that, and I want about a 60-degree bend. Again, it's subjective to your eyeball. And we're going to be tying up a Crappie Coyote. But that might be a little bit too much, but I wouldn't try to bend it back because we're putting in a little heat and friction, and it could create a breaking point there. All right, we'll get on with the tying part. Well, this here is my Crappie Coyote that I'll show you how to tie. You notice it's got a little spinner blade on here, and one of the concerns that you might have is if you're on too light of a fly rod, this is going to be a very wind resistant fly. So you just might have to step up a rod size bigger or something like that, because you might feel like the fly isn't flying through the air just right, because it's not really streamlined. It's got that little blade here to catch the wind. But anyway, let's go ahead, and I would probably look at maybe a 6 or 7 weight rod if you were going to fish this. My thought anyway. I'll let you know on that. All right. The hook I'm going to use is a Daiichi 2460 in the size 4. It's a 3X long Aberdeen hook. And you saw earlier here how I put that bend in there. And what I'm going to be using is some fly spinner blades in 00 nickel. And that size is 00. And it's a Colorado style blade. If you went to a place that sells lures or components for doing your own, you could probably put whatever blade you want on there, like a willow blade or something like that. And the thread I'm going to use is 140 Vivas in olive, and we're just going to start this right around where that bend is. And I'm going to put an eye on, and the eye I'm going to use is a folding mill, a tungsten streamer eye, dumbbell eye, in small. And in this case it's a green color, but with a white pupil, and white eyeball and black pupil. And we're going to put that right there. Check that to make sure that on there. Double check that. Next, since this is the bottom of the fly, we're going to use some white craft fur for the belly. And sorry about that, I think I bumped it. And let it cut off as close to the hide of the that I can get. And I'm going to take out here by the tips, and that'll get a lot of this fiber out. And I want this tail or the belly to be about 2 to 3/4, 3 inches long on there. Give it a counter spin so my thread wraps jump backwards. And then I'm gonna jump over. And I'm going to give it a few crossing wraps here. And I'm going to put some head cement on here, because by the time I get to secure the spinning blade, I won't have room to put any head cement on there. I'm going to flip this upside down, And next I'm going to use is some Kreelex fish splash. And we're going to make that just about the same length as our belly. And have that divided up on right or left. And we're going to just kind of trim that right there. Now for the back of the fly, I'm going to use some olive craft fur. And again, we're going to clean this out. Getting rid of all those shorts. And then we're going to make this just the same length as the white. And then I'm going to counter spin that so I can catch our and then we're going to keep this upside and we're going to try to pull that bead that and just lock it in place here by wrapping over the swivel portion that's attached to the hook. Then we'll give it a whip finish. And one more. Pull those fibers back here, and we'll give it some hard as nails, hard as hull, whatever you're using. All right, there you go, the completed Crappie Coyote, or your Roadrunner for conventional fishing for crappie. But we're fly fishing, so it's a coyote.
All right, hope you found that interesting. A little coyote there. Try them up in other colors, but I'm trying to mimic a crappie minnow, or shiner, fathead, and these are about their colors. You know, they got a little silver on the sides, olive back, maybe actually olive gray, white belly, and they're probably around 2.5, 3 inches in length. So that sounds like that's done. So we've got one more fly we're going to tie for the Sunfish Challenge, and it'll be another spinner blade one. But it's kind of a weird looking one, but a lot easier than this. All right, let me know what you think, and if you give it a try, let me know what you're catching with it. All right, I'm Daryl, and we'll see you on the water.